Many popular breakfast cereals in Australia appear healthy on the front of the box, but when you look closely at the nutrition label, the sugar content can be much higher than most people expect. In this countdown, we are examining 10 cereals commonly found in supermarkets that are worth a second look, not because of what the packaging promises, but because of what the numbers reveal. From whole grain options to fruit glazed clusters, each one tells a different story about hidden sugars. Let us begin with number 10. In 10th place, Jordan's Honey Nut Muesli presents a case where a healthy image can mask a sweeter reality. Marketed with whole grain oats and roasted nuts, this honey glazed variant contains about 21.8 grams of sugar per 100 grams, significantly higher than plain oats, which sit at just 1 gram per 100 grams. The ingredient list puts sugar second, ahead of the nuts themselves, followed by honey and vegetable oil. For shoppers familiar with the brand's lower sugar options, this jump may come as a surprise. The difference is clear when comparing to Jordan's 4-Nut Muesli, which has 14.5 grams of sugar per 100 grams, mostly from dried fruit. Here, added sugar and honey drive the total much higher. This highlights the importance of checking the specific product name and nutrition panel, even within the same brand, as sugar content can vary widely. Number 9. Uncle Tobys Antioxidant Plus, the berry variant, presents an interesting case of healthy-sounding marketing paired with a higher sugar content than many expect. The packaging highlights antioxidants from berries and whole grain oats, but a closer look at the nutrition panel reveals 24.8 grams of sugar per 100 grams. One of the main contributors is berry puree concentrate, which appears ahead of some grains in the ingredient list. Alongside this, added sugar and whole grain oats round out the main ingredients. While the use of fruit puree might seem like a natural alternative, it still adds free sugars that count toward the total. For shoppers drawn to the promise of antioxidants and fruit, it is worth reconsidering how much sugar is actually present. Paying attention to the per 100 grams figure can help cut through the health halo created by berry imagery and front-of-pack claims. 8th place. Carman's fruit and honey muesli clusters present a case where the word muesli can be misleading. While plain Carman's muesli contains around 8 grams of sugar per 100 grams, the fruit and honey clusters variant jumps to approximately 25.1 grams per 100 grams. The difference comes down to how the clusters are formed. Oats are bound together using honey and sugar, then mixed with sugar-coated fruit pieces. This process transforms a basic whole grain cereal into something much sweeter, even though the packaging still highlights natural ingredients and whole grains. For those who expect muesli to be a low sugar choice, the sugar content in these clusters may be higher than anticipated. It is a reminder that when cereals are processed into clusters or glazed, the sugar level can climb well above what is found in their unprocessed plain versions. Number 7. Kellogg's Sustain draws attention for its eco-friendly branding, but the nutrition panel tells a different story. With approximately 25.8 grams of sugar per 100 grams, this cereal sits well above the level found in plain oats or unsweetened whole grain options. The ingredient list highlights whole grain flakes, but sugar and glucose syrup appear early, alongside invert syrup and barley malt extract. The front of the box often features badges for responsible sourcing and sustainability, which can create a health halo effect, making the product seem healthier than it is. While these environmental commitments are positive, they do not guarantee a low-sugar breakfast. The sugar content here is something to be aware of, especially for families aiming to reduce added sugars at the start of the day. Checking the sugar figure per 100 grams remains the most reliable way to assess what is inside, regardless of the marketing claims. Number 6. Kellogg's Nutri-Grain stands out for its athletic branding and claims of whole grain and iron, yet the sugar content remains higher than many people realize. The current recipe contains approximately 26.7 grams of sugar per 100 grams, a figure that remains elevated even after a well-publicized reformulation in 2017 that reduced sugar by about 10%. Key sweeteners include barley malt extract and glucose syrup, both appearing early on the ingredient list alongside sugar itself. Despite the focus on sports performance and a 4-star health star rating, Nutri-Grain's sugar level is still well above what is found in plain cereals like oats. The history of reformulation shows industry response to public concern, but the final product continues to deliver a significant dose of sugar for every bowl. This is something to be aware of, especially for families drawn to its reputation as a strong start to the day. Number 5. Nestlé Milo cereal blends the familiar malt and chocolate flavor of the classic drink with a breakfast staple that is popular among Australian families. The front of the box highlights added vitamins, iron and calcium, suggesting a nutritious start to the day. A closer look at the nutrition information panel reveals around 26.9 grams of sugar per 100 grams, placing it among the higher sugar cereals on supermarket shelves. Sugar appears early in the ingredient list, followed by barley malt extract and milk solids, both of which add to the sweetness. The malt and chocolate powder contribute not only to flavor, but also to the total sugar content. While vitamin fortification is a selling point, it does not offset the impact of a higher sugar density. For those drawn in by the promise of energy and nutrients, it is worth considering how much of the cereal's taste comes from added sugars, rather than the advertised benefits. Number 4, Kellogg's Sultana brand is often promoted as a high-fiber, whole-grain choice, but its sugar content is higher than many people expect. The nutrition information panel lists approximately 28.2 grams of sugar per 100 grams, placing it well above the level found in plain brand cereals. While the base is wheat bran, a significant portion of the sugar comes from the sultanas themselves. These dried fruit pieces are not just naturally sweet, they are often coated in oil and added sugar to improve texture and shelf life. Sugar also appears separately in the ingredient list, adding to the total. The combination of sweetened sultanas and added sugars means that every bowl delivers a substantial sugar load, despite the cereal's reputation for being a healthy, fiber-rich option. This is something to be aware of, especially for those choosing Sultana bran as a daily breakfast staple. Number 3, Kellogg's Just Right Apricot and Sultana moves even further into high sugar territory. The nutrition panel lists approximately 28.7 grams of sugar per 100 grams, a figure that may surprise those drawn in by its whole grain and fruit imagery. The ingredient list places sugar ahead of some grains, followed by sugar-coated apricot pieces and sultanas. Invert syrup is also present, a sweetener known for its high glycemic impact. This layering of sweeteners, sugar, coated fruit and syrup adds up quickly, making each bowl much sweeter than the simple fruit and grain appearance might suggest. For families choosing this cereal based on its balanced breakfast claims, the cumulative effect of these sweetening techniques is worth reconsidering. Checking the per 100 grams sugar figure on the label helps cut through the health-focused messaging and reveals what's really in the box. Number 2, Kellogg's Crunchy Nut Clusters Honey Roast stands out for its honey-roasted nut imagery, but the nutrition panel tells a different story. This cereal contains approximately 28.9 grams of sugar per 100 grams, placing it near the top of the list for sugar content. The key ingredients include sugar, honey, and glucose-fructose syrup, all used to create a glossy, sweet coating on the nut clusters. While the packaging highlights the presence of nuts and whole grains, the clusters themselves are held together by these confectionery-style glazes. For shoppers who associate nuts with protein and lasting energy, it is easy to miss how much of the sweetness comes from syrups and honey, rather than the nuts themselves. This combination results in a breakfast that is closer to a sweet snack than a simple whole grain cereal. Checking the sugar per 100 grams on the label can help reveal what is really behind the honey roast appeal. And finally, in first place, Nestlé Nesquik cereal chocolate stands out with the highest sugar content among the cereals covered, 29.9 grams per 100 grams. Marketed with playful branding and claims of whole grain and added vitamins, its nutrition panel reveals a sugar level that rivals confectionery. Sugar appears as the second ingredient, closely followed by chocolate powder, which itself contains more sugar, and glucose syrup, another concentrated sweetener. The combination of these ingredients delivers a bowl that is far sweeter than the packaging suggests. While messages about protein and fortification appear on the box, they do not offset the impact of nearly 30% sugar by weight. This cereal serves as a clear example of why checking the sugar figure per 100 grams is essential, especially when choosing breakfast options for children. The label tells a different story than the front of the box might imply. Across all 10 cereals, one pattern is clear. Even products marketed as healthy can contain surprisingly high sugar. The real measure is not the claims on the front. It is the numbers on the nutrition information panel. Thanks for watching. Always check the label. The front of the box does not tell the full story. On the supermarket shelf, most protein powders look nearly identical, but their labels tell very different stories. In this countdown, we are comparing 10 top supermarket protein powders purely by what is printed on the pack, including protein percentage, sugar, sweeteners, and the complexity of ingredient lists. If you want to make more informed choices based on the label alone, this ranking breaks down each product's key stats, starting with number 10. In 10th place, Musashi High Protein Chocolate sets a clear baseline for supermarket protein blends. Based on the label, each 45-gram serving delivers 30.2 grams of protein, which is 67% protein by weight, noticeably lower than many others in this comparison. The sugar line stands out at 5.3 grams per serve, the highest on this list, with dextrose and milk powders appearing early in the ingredients. The panel also lists sucralose and guar gum, reflecting a longer, more complex ingredient list. At an estimated $1.50 to $2 per serve, Musashi's familiar tub highlights how a larger scoop size can mask a lower protein percentage. This product demonstrates how carbohydrate fillers and serve size can impact both nutrition and value, making it a useful starting point for label-based comparisons. Number 9. INC Bodhi's High Protein Chocolate presents a supermarket whey blend, where maltodextrin appears early in the ingredient list. This addition increases the carbohydrate content, reflected in a sugar line of 4.4 grams per serve, which is noticeably higher than many moderate or high protein options. Each 40-gram serve delivers 28 grams of protein, with a protein density of 70% per 100 grams. Sucralose and stabilizing gums are also included, contributing to a longer and more processed ingredient profile. The price typically ranges from $1 to $1.40 per serve. Reading the ingredient order reveals how carb powders like maltodextrin can elevate both sugars and overall carbohydrates, even in products marketed for high protein. This blend highlights the importance of checking both the nutrition panel and the ingredient list for those mindful of added carbohydrates. In 8th place, Nature's Way Instant Natural Protein offers a plant-based alternative for those seeking a dairy-free option in the supermarket aisle. The label lists soy protein isolate as the primary ingredient, resulting in 15.4 grams of protein per 25-gram serve. This equates to a protein density of 62% per 100 grams, which is lower than most whey-based powders in this comparison. Sugar content remains modest at 0.8 grams per serve, and the ingredient list is notably short, avoiding the longer additive list seen in many dairy blends. Priced between 70 cents and $1 per serve, it stands out as an accessible, budget-friendly option for plant-based shoppers. Based on the label, this product highlights the trade-off between a simpler ingredient profile and lower protein density, especially when compared to animal-based options. Number 7, Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard 100% Plant offers a branded blend of pea, rice, and faba bean proteins, designed to appeal to those seeking a plant-based alternative with a familiar taste and texture. The nutrition panel states 24 grams of protein per 35 grams serve, giving a protein density of 69% per 100 grams. Sugar sits at 3.5 grams per serve, which is higher than many whey isolates but still moderate for a plant-based option. The ingredient list features stevia as the primary sweetener, avoiding artificial options like sucralose, and includes xanthan gum to create a smoother mouthfeel. This product's longer list of thickeners and flavors reflects a focus on replicating the creamy texture of dairy-based powders. At an estimated $1.50 to $1.90 per serve, it highlights the trade-off between plant-based blends, protein density, and added ingredients. Based on the label, this powder is positioned for those who value taste and a dairy-free profile, while accepting a slightly lower protein percentage and a more complex ingredient list. Number 6. Coles Wellness Road Whey Protein Concentrate Unflavored offers a straightforward approach to protein supplementation. The label lists just one ingredient: whey protein concentrate, with no added flavors, sweeteners, or thickeners. Each 30-gram serve provides 24 grams of protein, resulting in a high protein density of 80% per 100 grams. Sugar content is minimal, at 0.6 grams per serve. The simplicity of the ingredient list signals limited processing, which may appeal to those seeking a basic, unflavored option for blending into smoothies or recipes. At an estimated 80 cents to $1.20 per serve, this house brand product stands out for value, especially for shoppers focused on cost per gram of protein. While it lacks the flavor and convenience of premixed blends, the short label and high protein percentage make it a practical choice for those who prioritize simplicity and affordability. Number 5. Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard Whey. The Australian chocolate variant serves as a widely recognized benchmark for supermarket protein blends. The label lists a 31-gram serving, delivering 24 grams of protein, which calculates to 77% protein by weight. Sugar content is low at 1 gram per serve, and the ingredient list features a blend of whey protein isolate, whey protein concentrate, and hydrolyzed whey, aiming for both protein quality and mixability. Artificial sweeteners sucralose and acesulfame K appear alongside soy lecithin and added enzymes. The price typically ranges from $1.80 to $2.20 per serve, positioning it in the mid to upper price range for supermarket shelves. Based on the label, this product offers a balanced profile, moderate protein density, low sugar, and a standard mix of additives, making it a practical reference point for comparing higher density isolates and more processed blends. For those seeking a familiar, consistent option, it represents a clear example of how to read and interpret protein powder labels in the Australian market. Number 4. Musashi 100% Whey Isolate Chocolate presents a higher protein density option among supermarket protein powders. The label lists 29 grams of protein per 35-gram serve, resulting in an impressive 83% protein by weight. Sugar content is low at 1.2 grams per serve, reflecting the isolate's filtration process that removes much of the lactose and carbohydrates. The ingredients panel confirms whey protein isolate as the primary source, with the inclusion of acesulfame potassium and sucralose as sweeteners. Soy lecithin appears as an emulsifier, and cocoa provides the chocolate flavor. The price per serve generally falls between $1.60 and $2, placing it in the upper mid-range for supermarket options. Based on the label, this product offers a clear example of how isolates deliver higher protein percentages with minimal sugar, while still relying on artificial sweeteners for taste. For those seeking a dense protein source with lower sugars, it sets a benchmark for supermarket isolates, though the presence of added sweeteners remains a consideration for ingredient-focused shoppers. Number 3. Vital Strength Whey Isolate Vanilla represents a high-density protein option commonly found on Australian supermarket shelves. The label lists 25 grams of protein per 30-gram serve, delivering an impressive 82% protein by weight. Sugar content is kept very low at 0.4 grams per serve, reflecting the isolate processing that removes most of the lactose and carbohydrates. The ingredients panel identifies whey protein isolate as the primary source, with sucralose and xanthan gum included for sweetness and texture, and soy lecithin as an emulsifier. The presence of xanthan gum is typical in isolates aiming for a smoother mix, though it adds to the processed nature of the ingredient list. The price per serve ranges from $1.70 to $2.10, placing it slightly above some other supermarket isolates. Based on the label, this product offers a strong balance of high protein density and minimal sugar, making it worth considering for those seeking a lactose-friendly, concentrated protein powder. For more Australian supermarket product breakdowns, consider subscribing to the channel. Always compare the label. The marketing on the front is only part of the story. Number 2. Pure Product Australia Whey Protein Isolate Vanilla sets a benchmark for protein density among supermarket powders. The label lists approximately 28 grams of protein per 33 grams served, translating to an estimated 85% protein by weight. Sugar content remains low at 0.9 grams per serve, supporting a low-carb profile. The ingredient list is notably concise, containing only 4 items. Hydrolyzed whey protein isolate, natural vanilla flavor, and steviol glycosides as the sweetener. This absence of artificial sweeteners, gums, or unnecessary additives signals a focus on purity and minimal processing. The use of stevia stands out for those seeking a plant-derived alternative to sucralose. For shoppers comparing protein powders by density and simplicity, this product offers one of the highest protein percentages and the shortest ingredient lists available at Coles and Woolworths. Based on the label, the cost per serve typically ranges from $1.20 to $1.60, positioning it as a strong value for those prioritizing protein content over flavor complexity. And finally, in first place, Vital Strength plant protein in the peanut butter flavor illustrates the trade-offs often found in plant-based supermarket blends. The label lists a protein content of 25 grams per 40 gram serve, translating to 63% protein by weight, noticeably lower than most whey-based powders in this comparison. Sugar sits at 2 grams per serve, which remains moderate for a flavored blend. The ingredient list reveals a blend of pea, rice, and faba bean proteins, with added inulin for fiber and xanthan and guar gums to create a creamier mouthfeel. Sucralose is used as the primary sweetener, and the overall ingredient list is longer than many pure whey isolates, reflecting the need for texture and flavor balancing in plant formulations. The price per serve ranges from $1.40 to $1.80, positioning it in the mid-range for supermarket plant proteins. Based on the label, this product highlights how plant-based powders often rely on gums and fibers to improve taste and texture, while offering a moderate protein percentage. For those seeking a flavored plant protein with added fiber, it represents a practical example of what to expect from supermarket options. For more Australian supermarket product breakdowns, consider subscribing to the channel. Always compare the label. The marketing on the front is only part of the story. Across all 10 products, one pattern stands out. Protein powders in Australian supermarkets vary widely in protein content, sugar levels, and ingredient complexity, even when the packaging appears similar. Based on the label, informed choices depend on reading beyond the marketing. Subscribe for more impartial supermarket product breakdowns. Always compare the label. The marketing on the front is only part of the story.